They always say, keep going, but what's the purpose of forward progression without a plan? Funny story about this butterfly. It landed just long enough for me to capture it. Almost like it knew that this was the moment. Like it had been preparing for this one opportunity its entire life. But the truth is, the butterfly didn't become ready when I pressed record. It became ready long before I even showed up. And maybe that's the lesson I've been learning lately. The moment isn't where preparation begins. It's where preparation is finally revealed.
Boy, everybody told me you could be whatever you want to be. So I told myself.
Last weekend, a few weeks ago, I found myself in Columbus, Ohio. I was working an event because I needed to work that event. I actually got the pay for that event plus my salary, and I'm already poor because these children are expensive. So if you have children, don't let them grow up. Just keep them as little babies. If you can, if at all possible. I'm hoping at some point in time in our future, before my kids grow up. Because they're just growing and they're just so expensive. So I went and worked that event. I was looking for signs that I wasn't supposed to go. There were signs left and right. It was some stuff going on. So if you've been following my journey, you already know that the weekend was absolutely rough. It was rough. Am I interrupting the practice? But everything felt like it was going wrong. I got into arguments. Like things wasn't flowing the way I expected. I felt a little off being able to maneuver in ways that I normally know how to. My energy was off. And by the end of the weekend, I started asking myself a question. And I think a lot of us ask this when life gets hard. And maybe I'm not supposed to be here. And that is primarily true. I say it all the time. I'm going to keep saying it until y'all identify the fact that I have high levels of discernment. I just don't always adhere to them. I don't listen to myself enough, which gets me into the trouble. Discernment kicking in. I'm like, I'm just not supposed to be here. If a trip starts off bad, then that's an indicator that the rest of the trip is going to be piss poor. And that's exactly what happened. My trip started off bad, so it just kind of set the tone for the remainder of the trip. But I started looking for the signs. So I'm looking for these signs. That was one. I get there. I book a hotel. I'm still fighting to charge for a hotel. That's the second sign. I almost getting a freaking fight with one of their unhoused, unmedicated or medicated, depending on how you look at it, individuals, like literal fist fight over $2. That was a sign. And then I get this email saying that I need to go to Chicago. Well, my ass should have stayed at home so I can get to Chicago easier. But it wasn't going to stop me. Obviously, I still went to Chicago. But anyway, so I had all these signs. And once that thought entered my mind, every inconvenience started to feel like a confirmation. So all I needed was the email. That's all I needed was a little line that said, hey, audition in Chicago tomorrow. That was it. That was it. That sealed the deal for me. However, this is what has been sitting with me since I left. Is that I did all of that, walked up to the door of the audition location, spoke with a man who told me that the auditions didn't start until like another 20 minutes. But I wasn't prepared for that. I had luggage. I was out there looking stupid. So I didn't go. I turned my ass around and I prepared to go back home because at that time I told myself, you are not properly prepared for nothing. You didn't properly prepare for Columbus. So you're definitely not in position or properly prepared to go to an audition, like an actual audition. This isn't like I'm not posting any pictures of it. But if you see my activity on Instagram, on wherever the place is, maybe It was an actual thing, right? So I wasn't about to go in there and embarrass myself. First of all, I was walking around. I had my backpack on me. I'm walking for the most part. It was hot. It was a hot ass day in Chicago, and I'm sweaty. I look, I look like somebody that they just pulled off a goddamn bus stop. And it's just not. That's not. That's not what I wanted to present. Now, case in point, I did want to present this overall, like, hey, she's a real hustler. Like, y'all are looking for hustlers. This is a hustle. I literally got this email yesterday. I was in butt fuck ass Columbus. I wasn't even supposed to be over there. At least I didn't feel like I was supposed to be over there. I get this email. Don't know how. Still to this day, I'm still flabbergasted by how I was up there in Chicago and I just didn't realize, like, how the fuck did I even get up here? It was not a part of the plan. I'm walking around. Like, I cannot believe I literally just went from Indy to Columbus. And I'm up here in Chicago on some foo-foo fuck shit at the end of the day. All because I had an emotion or an inkling that I wasn't supposed to be somewhere. None of it was properly planned. So I told myself it was confirmation. Maybe if I wasn't here, if I was supposed to be there, everything would have lined up. But after thinking about it, I'm I'm just not sure if it's a sign. After all of this is played out, I told myself, like, I'm not sure if it was a sign. Honestly, I think it was a consequence. And that is a difference. That's a difference. When I really looked at the situation, I had to ask myself a hard question. Like, did I miss that opportunity because it wasn't meant for me or because I wasn't prepared for it? And that question, at least the answer, changed everything. The truth is, the decision wasn't made the morning of the audition. It was made days before. It was made every time I failed to plan ahead. Every time I assumed that I'd figure it out later, which I always do. Like, I'm used to it, but it's not something good to be used to. Every time I've left no buffer, no room for unexpected problems, that's when it happened. We love saying, what's meant for me will be for me. And I do believe that there's truth in it. But I also believe sometimes that you have to go work for it and you have to plan appropriately for the opportunities that you want to come your way. I believe we sometimes use that phrase to protect ourselves from accountability. Sometimes we'll call it God's timing, whatever you may believe in, the powers that may be, timing. But really, very basically, it was piss poor planning. That's it. That's all it was. Sometimes we call it a sign when really it was just a system failure. Sometimes we say the door just wasn't meant to open. But if we're honest, did we ever really walk up to the door ready to open it? Of course, throughout this growth experience, we've been out here lifing and growing. This whole experience is just it's been a humbling. It's been humbling to say the least. This lesson isn't just about an audition. It's about every opportunity that comes to me in my life. Jobs, relationships, business, content creation, travel, dreams. I've just realized that I can't keep praying for opportunities while refusing to prepare for them. Preparation is a part of the process. That's where the cliche slogan, proper planning prevents poor performance, finally clicked for me. Like, it sounds like a bunch of bull. It sounds like a bunch of bullshit, but it's not, because it's the truth. Not because someone said it in school, but because I'm literally out here living the opposite. Like, poor planning doesn't just create stress. It creates stories, and stories that tell us we weren't good enough. Stories that tell us that we weren't supposed to be there. And stories that make us confuse consequences with confirmation. And I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. I can't keep missing out on these opportunities because they come in barrels full sometime, and it's all because I have not planned appropriately. I am not properly prepared. They say stay ready, so you ain't got to get ready. I'm never ready. So going forward, if I prepare, give my absolute best, and a door still closes, I'll have peace with that. Just like, honestly, beforehand, this whole me missing the audition, it would have blew my emotions, it would have blew my psyche out the water. But I've accepted the fact that this is a growth experience. It's a lesson that was very well needed. And I take peace in the fact that I learned that I cannot keep moving around like I do, or at least how I used to. I know I showed up, and I refuse to keep calling my lack of preparation a sign from God. These are not signs. Sometimes the lesson isn't that God closed the door. Sometimes the lesson is that, he's just showing you what needs to change before the next door opens. If you're watching this, if you're still sticking around and you've been wondering, you're probably wondering whether you've been getting signs. Just ask yourself the one question first and be honest with yourself. Come on now, Misfit. We gotta start being honest with ourselves. Did I truly prepare for the opportunity I was praying for? Because that answer might change everything. I'm telling y'all. Well, if this resonates with you, let me know in the comments. Have you ever mistaken a lack of preparation for a sign that something wasn't meant for you? As always, I love to hear your perspective because that's the whole point of this community, is that I am not the only one who's had to learn this lesson. And I'm really liking the little community that we're building out here. So I know, let me know. I'm about to finish my little walk up or whatever. Oh, another thing, I almost didn't come back out here. Well, I won't say I almost didn't come back outside. I will say that I did not come out here for like the past 3 days. And what happens is that turns into another 3 days. And then those 3 days turn into another 3 days. And then those 3 days turn into another 3 days. And it's just, I look up, I'm still a fucking fat ass. So, we out here.